guys, I'm just carrying on to that. I'm just carrying on. Yeah, I think it was plus 2, right? That was number 4. I think so. Let me just go double check. I have time now. Let's see. Yes, that's fine. So I'm going to substitute my x value there. So that's 3 over 2 minus 2 plus 2. And what am I going to get? That's going to, I'm going to negative 3 plus 2. So my y would still be negative 1, right? Which is what we've found when we're using a different method. So my x is equal to that, and my y is equal to that. And I think those are the values that we found when we're using substitution. Let me go check. Yes, my x is equal to minus 2 and y is equal to minus 1. Okay, so I'm gonna attempt to do the last problem, right? But maybe before I do that, I just want to give you an idea of what's happening here. Basically, this is this 3x plus, it's 3x minus 2y plus 4 is equal to 0, and this other function this function is x plus 3y plus 5, right? So you have these two functions, and basically what you've solved for now, you've solved for where they touch, right? So you've said your x, I think your x was minus 2, so your x was minus 2, x was minus 2, and your y was minus 1. So basically you found where these function intersect, right? Intersect. That's what solving stuff simultaneously basically mean, right? So, and I'm showing you this in this method because of this. If you look closely here, these are basically two functions. Y is equal to something, and another function that is I'm trying to, okay, let me just get rid of that and do another one. So it's basically these two functions right over here, and basically they are functions. They are basically these guys over here. So when you equate them, you are finding for the point at which they intersect. And that's it, guys. That's it. I'll do the last method, which is called elimination. Actually, let me start it in this video. Right, so elimination. So I'm doing it in the same problem. So our problem, we had x plus 3y plus 5 is equal to 0, and we also had 3x minus 2y, or maybe let me not write it like that, let me write it a bit different, plus 4 minus 2y is equal to 0. Right, so basically you have these two equations. This one is the first equation. So you have these two equations. So what you would literally like to see happening, you want to get rid of one variable first. So you can see that this is aligned, it's both x's. These are not nicely matched. It's a 4 and the 3y and also. So the first thing that you would like to do is to just rearrange your equations if they are not okay, right? Rearrange your equations. So you want to rearrange your equations so that basically you're doing the following. So you'll say, this is x plus 3y plus 5 is equal to 0. It's equation number 1. And then you want to perhaps rearrange this one in such a way that it goes x, y, and 5, or a number, right? What we call a constant, right? So you would say, okay, this is 3x, that 3x is fine, but I would want to put minus 2y here. and I will basically want to put my plus 4 here. It's equal to 0. And then basically multiply, or you'll see multiply one of your equations with a number such that these equations, when you subtract them, a variable disappears, right? Try to put what I just said in words and see if you can make your own notes, right? Anyway, so you see, if you can multiply the top one, equation number 1, by 3, you can get 3x, right? So that's what I'm meaning. So multiply equation number 1 by multiply equation number 1 by 3, right? So what you're gonna have 3x plus, if you multiply this, it's gonna be 9y. If you multiply that, it's gonna be plus 15, and that's gonna give you 0, right? That's what you had. Now you're gonna call this equation number 3, and now what you're gonna have here, it's your old equation. It's gonna be 3x minus 2y plus 4, and that's gonna be equal to 0, and that's still gonna be your equation number 2. You haven't done anything to that equation, you haven't changed it. So now you're gonna subtract the equations, right? If you want, you can add. There are situations where you have to add them if you want, but in this case you're gonna subtract the equations so that you can eliminate one variable. Okay, so now what do we have? So we have 3x plus 9y plus 15 is equal to 0. We want to subtract this equation, which is 3x minus 2y plus 4 is equal to 0. We want to subtract that equation. That bracket is not there, right? Now, it's very nice. We move from subtracting numbers to subtracting equations. Ooh. That's amazing for me. Anyway, when you subtract, you're going to see that this and that will disappear. This and that would give you 11y. That and that would give you 11, right? Because you have 15 minus 4, because this minus comes here. So you're going to have you're going to have 11. There is some mistake that I've done again. Guys, I made another mistake. I have to find my mistake now. And I literally cannot see it. Oh yes, I see. It's basically how I'm writing it. Okay, anyway, when you minus that, it's going to be plus 11, and that's equal to 0, right? Anyway, now what you have now, it's 11y is equal to negative 11, and your y is basically equal to negative 1. It's basically equals to negative 1. So you have your y. You can go substitute this y in any of the equations, right? I will choose equation number 2, right? So this is number 4, step number 4. Please write it in your words and see if you can. Basically what we're doing, we're taking this y and we're substituting it back to any of these equations, to any of those. I can tell you that the answer would be x is equal to negative 2, but please do it and see if you can. Now, someone who did it is gonna get a prize, not this Saturday, but some other Saturday. But you need to come to me and be like, say I did that thing that I did, and the first one who says that wins.